Welcome back to Shades of Resilience. Today, I want to talk about the misconceptions monoracial, light skinned, and dark skinned Black women face in interracial dating, specifically with white men. Now, monoracial simply just means a fully Black, light skinned woman and a dark skinned Black woman. So, some of the stereotypes for light skinned Black women, monoracial, light skinned Black women who often get dismissed or misunderstood in interracial dating. People assume we date white men because we want whiteness or privilege. We don't value Black men and are turning away from our race. These assumptions come from long-standing colorism, jealousy, and societal bias, not reality. So why does it actually happen to light-skinned Black women? Oftentimes, light-skinned Black women get less visibility online as far as like representation and promotion of interracial coupling compared to dark-skinned Black women in interracial dating spaces. People project motives that don't exist, leading to scrutiny or judgment, even when dating for love, faith, values, and compatibility. Now we'll switch gears and talk about stereotypes for dark-skinned Black women in interracial dating. So typically, dark-skinned Black women are often more visible online in interracial dating. They are sometimes fetishized or assumed to be settling or breaking societal expectations. So key takeaways is both light and dark-skinned Black women face stereotypes, but the nature difference. And another key takeaway, love transcends skin tone, and visibility online doesn't always reflect reality. Another thing I want to say about the stereotypes of dark-skinned Black women that I absolutely really hate is that oftentimes people glorify interracial dating for dark-skinned Black women because they feel as though dark-skinned Black women aren't desirable by Black men. And I've seen plenty of marriages and healthy relationships between dark-skinned Black men and women. And so I really find it disrespectful to make it seem that dark-skinned Black women aren't beautiful and that they have to date out just to find love. So that's another thing, because it almost makes it seem like you're trying to make their interracial marriages or partnership as if it was like just desperation and not two people generally loving each other. So I really don't like that. But I want to share a personal story of me, Shades of Resilience. For those of you who know me or don't know me, my name is Brittany, but I go by Shades of Resilience Exoticals for YouTube. So for me, I've always had more compatibility with white men. My first boyfriend was white, and I remember even in elementary school, on a swing set and holding hands with a white person at the time, a white guy. And in high school, most students were Black, but the white students that were at my high school was friends with me, and my childhood best friend was white. And I grew up in a diverse community, so we used to stay at a neighborhood called the Parks at River Edge. It was a gated communities. I had lots of white neighbors. I was always exposed to different cultures, though, music and experiences. My mom made sure that she just exposed me and educated me. So I've had many unique experiences, including even meeting different dignitaries from other countries. When me and my mom hosted like this World Trade Center where you could invite dignitaries in your home who flew from out the country to get the American experience. And many of my Black friends that I did have were also very cultured like myself. So they came from very upper middle class Black prominent families. Like even one of my good friends that lived in Orangeburg, South Carolina, she had like I would call it a mansion Her parents were well off. They were a black couple, but they were well off. She was into piano, the arts. And so I was always exposed to diversity or being like cultured. So, matter of fact, one of my black friends actually introduced me to rock and roll, where my first band I ever heard in the rock and roll was Evanescence, into the piano and instruments. So I always had like just exposure. I also attended mostly non-denominational white churches. Growing up since I was like about 20. I did go to black churches, probably when I was like younger. So like first we, my grandmother was Catholic. So my mom had like went to like the Catholic church at first. Then my mom branched off to the Holiness church. Then my aunt at the time, who was an influence, we went to the Methodist church, and from Methodist, Baptist. And as I started to get older, like roughly about 17, 18, going into college, I did not like going to the Baptist church. Felt it was very judgmental and didn't really fit my personality and character. And then that's where I started attending mostly non-denominational white churches, or multicultural churches, and I always loved rock and pop music and contemporary Christian music since I was a kid. So I naturally gravitated, as you most likely can see, towards white men. Now, I did like black men at times, but it wasn't like a super strong desire. And I've had bad experiences with some black men. I have healed and I have reconciled a lot from those experiences, but that doesn't mean I hate my race, or I'm simply just a different type of black woman. And I feel like in society, we often want to label things. We want to label like what's black, or what's white, or what's this, or what's that. But I'm just an individual. I am me. I am myself. Finally, my family shaped me too. So, my father, who pretty much adopted me since I was like 3 years old. First my mom was married, and then they got a divorce when they were 3. And what's crazy is both of my fathers have the same name. Both are light skin. And, the one that pretty much adopted me when my mom got remarried is biracial, and he's very fair-skinned, so he looks white. And so I was always just exposed to differences, and I really enjoy that. So always exposed to diversity, always have been exposed to interracial. Love has always been a part of my life. So I've had many different experiences. Y'all, I'm an equal opportunist. So I've dated black guys before, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, white. But out of all of the groups of men that I've had a chance to actually date, I will say my strongest connections came with white guys. I was more highly compatible. And even with the relationships growing out apart with those particular white men, there were more circumstances basis than actually compatibility issues. Lastly, empowerment and prophetic testimony. So, sisters, whether you're light or dark skin, your love story matters. God sees your heart. I've had dreams about my future husband. I won't share all the details, but part has already come true. God is preparing him a man of faith, character, and love. My desire is not about skin color, but godly compatibility. Galatians 3:28 says, "There is neither Jew nor Gentile. You are all one in Christ." 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient. Love is kind. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." Lastly, pray, guys, for God's guidance and love. Don't let stereotypes or societal pressure define your story. Protect your peace, stand on his promises, and trust God's timing for your partner. And I leave you with that. Definitely drop a comment below for people who want to say rude or racist things. You'll get blocked, and I'll also use your negative comments to help me with other content. But other than that, you guys have a blessed day, and make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay tuned for more content.